Hello, everyone. I thought I would talk to you about why authors worry about reviews, and both positive reasons and negative reasons. Now, of course, one of the reasons why authors worry about reviews is because, like it or not, and I personally don't like it, is that there's this idea that, okay, well, the more reviews a book has, the more positive reviews, especially, the more social proof a book has that, well, if a lot of people like this, then I might like it too, a reader might think if they see that a book has a lot of positive reviews. That's the main reason why authors worry about it. And of course, I think that people need to understand, though, why authors specifically worry about negative reviews. Now, of course, first of all, it's very, very hard for an author to get any kind of review, positive or negative. It's far harder than even selling a book. Getting someone to both to read a book and review the book, that's nearly impossible. And I've never had really an in-depth review really of any of my books on Amazon. I've had Empty Sounds of the Wind has about 4 or 5 reviews. Some of that because I made a video last year where I complained about this rating that I received, which was kind of low, and then I think some people went and reviewed the book because of that, but some of those aren't verified purchases. Whether those are accurate reviews, I don't know. The reviews weren't very detailed. I think only one of them was a verified purchase. But anyway, I don't really have any in-depth reviews other than great book, I liked it, that kind of thing. And that's only on Empty Sounds of the Wind. And none of my other books, except for The Rains of Galwin Valley, which that was a whole different situation, which I won't talk about in this video. But a lot of my books don't have any reviews. Um, but anyway, but the reason, and it's not even that people read a book and they don't necessarily dislike it. Sometimes someone will read a book, like it, but then they just won't get around to reviewing it. Like, for example, I received a comment from someone who said that Silent Reckoning was the best book they've read this year, and I said, well, why don't you review it? Why don't you review it? And they said they will. They never did. But so there are a lot of people who will like a book, but then not review it. But the thing is that one of the reasons why authors worry about negative reviews is because, for one, people are far more likely to leave a negative review on something than a positive review. I mean, just think about this. When you go to a restaurant and the service is good, you like the food and the atmosphere, everything's going well, you might talk to the people you were with afterwards about how you liked it and how you would like to go back, but you probably won't review it online. However, if you go to a restaurant and you don't like the food and you don't like the service, then you might think, well, I'm going to take out my frustration by leaving a negative review. So, for some reason, it's far more people are far more likely, I guess it's human nature to be negative, to leave a negative review than a positive review. So that's one reason why authors worry about it. And also, it's not that authors care specifically about receiving a negative review. I mean, and sometimes people will use the strategy, oh well, it's only because it's only well, sometimes we'll use the reference that a lot of really well-regarded books have also received negative reviews. Well, here's the thing: is that authors aren't worried about receiving negative reviews. They're worrying about their first few reviews being negative, because if the first few reviews are negative, then that will people won't want to they'll read the book because they think, well, this book has 3, 4, 5 negative reviews. I'm not going to read that book, and they could be stuck, and because it's so hard to get a review, they could be stuck with that 1 star for a long time. And so it's not about receiving negative reviews. It's about the fact that if a book only has a 1 star ranking, that can be very damaging when it comes to selling books. And that's the reason. Now, of course, if a book has hundreds of positive reviews, then yeah, 5 or 10 negative reviews isn't going to hurt it. In fact, it could actually help it. Or even if a book has like 75, if a book has, let's say, a few hundred reviews and 75% are positive, 25% are negative, that could still be beneficial. But what authors worry about is the majority of reviews, or at least the first few, being negative, because that could have negative consequences. And if and because when there are times where I've read a book or watched a video or something and I really liked it, but then I watched and saw that most of the comments or reviews were negative, and then I think to myself, well, am I wrong? Is there something that I'm missing here? While a lot of people don't like this, but then I think, no, I'm going to go by my opinion, not what other people think. But there are a lot of people who are persuaded by the opinions of others, and so one of the reasons why authors worry about it is because that they think that even if someone does read, let's say, a book that has 1 star, that they may be influenced by that opinion or that ranking where they wouldn't be otherwise, and so that's really the reason. Um, and because so I worry about because one of my fears, so to speak, is that I wake up one morning and then find there's a 1 star on one of my books, and which that it happened once in the past on one of my books, and for other reasons, but mainly because I went and tried to get reviews for my book, The Reigns of Goblin Valley, on Reddit, which the people on Reddit are trolls. They're I mean, I've never gone to a social media site where people are as cruel as on Reddit. Of course, there are trolls on every site, but and many of them, and some of them even admitted that they didn't even read the book. They just gave it 1 star because I asked, and so which again, I don't think that non-verified purchases should be allowed to review books, and I mean, and yes, that would make it harder for also people to leave positive reviews, but at the same time, it would cut down on a lot of troll like behavior as well. So that's the main reason why authors worry about reviews.